Welcome into Sportscape. My name is Derek Clyburn, and I'm joined by a very special guest, my boy Darian Best. Um, Now we gotta get to the East, man. The East, a lot of different things
Sir.
has happened in the East. The Indiana Pacers, they surprised us last year. We were expecting Boston or New York or the Cleveland to make the finals, and Indiana came out of nowhere and just made the playoffs. Made the finals. They were a team that, they play at a super fast pace. They get up and down the court. They share the ball. They move the ball very efficiently, and they getting the ball to the open man constantly. They're playing motion. They're screening and rolling. They're hunting mismatches the whole entire game, and it's nonstop. It's nothing. They're moving the ball at all times, and then defensively they're on a string. Andrew Nimhart and Aaron Neesmith and all these dudes, they're defenders, man. They locking up. Better than you think they are. You wouldn't think that those dudes are good defenders, but when you play them, you see it. They're picking you up full court. They're picking you up full court. As soon as you get the ball, that pressure on you. I mean, the Cleveland Cavaliers didn't know what to do with that full court pressure. I promise you. Like I was watching that series was so crazy because they didn't know what to do with that full court pressure. They was like, these dudes full court pressing us. Like they looked out of sorts against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Against the
Deer
Pacers
in the headlights.
for sure. So the Pacers, but unfortunately Tyrese Halliburton, as we said earlier, Game 7 towards Achilles, so he's out pretty much. Uh, Maybe he'll come back, maybe he won't. I don't know, but ideally he'll come back next year because it's probably the smart decision. Um, Boston also in the same boat. I don't know what they're doing necessarily with this team they got together right now. They traded Drew Holiday. They traded Kristaps Porzingis. They didn't bring back Al Horford, so they have a lot of players in there that are without Jason Tatum, who tore his Achilles. Also, they have a lot of players. Just random players on the team. You got to look them up. You know what I'm saying? You might not know who they are off first glance. Jaylen Brown, he's still on the team. They traded for Anthony Simons. They got
In picture.
they still got Peyton Pritchard. They still got Sam Hauser. So those guys. Other than that, you probably gonna have to look up their names and who they played for, where they went to college at. But like I said, the East is wide open since those teams who were the favorites in the East last year are no longer there. But who would you say is the favorite in the East right now, Darren?
I think the most popular favorites right now is gonna be the Knicks. I'm gonna say the dark horse favorites to come in the East is either gonna be the Pistons or the Magic, and then that one that's in between, which I think there should be the favorites. Honestly, is the Cavs, and I'll break it down for each one of them. So the reason why I say the Cavs is, they're building off of that run they had last year. Of course, they fall short, unfortunately, but you still got like a dynamic player in Donovan Mitchell, right? Now, the fact that they added in a two-way player in Lonzo Ball, yes, he's coming back from his knee issues and everything, but we always known him as being that type of guy who plays fantastic defense. He's almost, I don't want to say he's like magic, but the way he passes is so like incredible. The basketball IQ, playing that fast pace, like making the correct reads and making the right passes, setting up his plays, them two together, like I feel like is a good front court in terms of like setting the team up to be in a good position to compete, you know, on top of Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, is Max Strauss still on the team?
Max Strus, yep. He's hurt
Max
right now,
Strauss,
but he's still
yeah.
there.
Yeah, and I think with that core, Kenny Atkinson, he's been doing a great job establishing a system. I think this is like his second year being on the team, but these players has been doing a great job executing their roles. And I think adding Lonzo to the picture, I feel like adds like a dimension to where Donovan can focus on his game. Like he can pass, he's like I would say a serviceable passer, but now that Lonzo's in the picture, Donovan can focus on the game, which is scoring. Scoring and providing some solid defender. Now Evan Mobley, I'm expecting some great things from him this year. I know he's been saying he's been putting in the work in the off season, working on adding another dynamic to his game, being more of a force inside. Um, So I'm expecting him to have a great year this year coming up. Jared Allen, I'm continuing to grow as a player, being that enforcer inside. I'm rebounding, blocks, defense. Um, I do have high expectations for them this year because they have that chip on their shoulder. And Darius Garland, who's expecting to come back, I believe, like the first or second week of November. So I believe this team right here has that hunger to actually come back and make some damage. To the East this year. So I'm gonna say for me personally, they will be my personal favorites to coming out of the East. Um, Now the reason why I say the Magic is a sleeper team come out of the East is just for the simple fact that um you've seen like how much progression they had with Piola, is it, correct me if I'm Piola
Yeah, Paulo Banquero.
Ventura Paolo Miguel, yeah. You seen him see how much he has grown over this past season. Now add on top of Desmond Bang, who's been shown that he's a good 3-point shooter that can play defense, and then a solid center on top of that. Wagner, is that the one? France Wagner
Yeah, Wagner.
on
But
the
yeah,
Magic? Wagner, yeah. Um, yeah, he had a rough year with injuries this past year, but I believe they have shown some signs that they can almost compete with anybody on a given night when they're on their A game. So I say with the Magic, like I say if they stay healthy and stick to their game plan, they would be a dark horse that might be a force to be reckoned with. And then with the Detroit Pistons, you have Isaiah Stewart and you have Cade Cunningham, who's looks like he's ready to go get to that next level this year in terms of leading that team. Um, do I actually predict them to have be a top 5 team in the East this year? Now with the Bucks, I really want them to actually be a contender for the East, but the reason why I'm not putting them in that contention status is because um well, their roster on paper, you got Giannis, you got Bobby Portis, you got Miles Turner, Pat Cunningham. I just don't think that's enough to compete with the other high-powered offenses, even in the East right now. You got Giannis, who's stepping into that top 5, top 3 best player in the world conversations, right? And as great as he is, obviously, that it takes more than one guy to um, make that push into make that push to lead the team to the conference finals or NBA finals. I just don't think he has that number 2 sidekick that he needs to help him out to get to where they need to be. So I believe those are the teams I think um, has a chance to kind of shock everybody and come out of the East.
oh, cool, cool. Yeah, I like what you said. One team, one other team I want to touch on. The New York Knicks.
Mm.
Um, to me, they're my favorite in the East right now, just because obviously they're healthier than everybody. I mean, the Cavs are still dealing with injuries, and they still have some question marks that more question marks than the Cavs. I mean, more question marks than the Knicks that I think the Knicks do. Right. I mean, the Knicks, they got Jalen Brunson, who had a tremendous year last year. He was the clutch player in the year in the NBA last year, the most clutch player in the NBA last year. Scored the most clutch points last year in the playoffs and in the regular season. Um, but just him, first and foremost, them hiring Mike Brown. I think that helps out tremendously because you know he's going to play the bench unlike Tom Thibodeau, who played 5 players five 6 players most time throughout the season. Um, it's basically it said, I mean, there's a stat that said no 5-man lineup played more minutes across the league last year than the Knicks starting 5 with Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, and Karl Anthony Towns. So we know Mike Brown's gonna come in and use the bench. You know he's always talked about the team playing at a faster pace, getting the ball, having Jalen Brunson play off the ball more, which is great because he was one of the teams that they were one of the teams that held the ball. Like I think they said they had like they were like second in the league was as far as like the most shot clock they use. They averaged 16 seconds of the shot clock for every offense possession they had last year, which is crazy. Um, because Jalen Brunson did a lot of dribbling and how you get he's dominant. He's a ball dominant.
Mhm.
But like I said, the balance between they got unique players. Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, I think they can take another step offensively and be more involved in the offense. Because they can do more stuff like off the dribble, catch and shoot, obviously, but also taking advantage of the mid range. Also, taking advantage. Mikal Bridges, he's able to get people off the dribble. OG Anunoby, he can also post smaller players up. And then of course the card he tells you know how good offensively he is, stretching the floor with his 3-point shot, getting to the basket. He's one of the better players at driving as far as being a big. And then obviously post ups, he can post up too. Um, and then just like having like players that can do the dirty work with Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart and you know OG and Anobi, all those dudes do the dirty work. They play defense, they play hard, they rebound, and then they added players like Jordan Clarkson and um, Yabusele, and they still got McBride and Shamit and all these dudes. So these and then Tyler Kolek. I mean, he looks pretty good. They're He's a rookie last year, but he looked pretty good. So they got some depth this year they can use, and they're able to have lineup versatility where they want to play small or play big. And obviously, Jalen Brunson and Carl Anthony Towns. I think their biggest issue last year was with them both on the court, them just being able to hunt them defensively because Josh Hart. I mean, Jalen Brunson and Cat aren't good defenders, so most teams are hunting them, trying to get on them and like go at them. So being able to create a scheme, Mike Brown be able to create a scheme that can help them with those weaknesses. Obviously, being able to play um, like Mitch Robinson more, and then help be able to like hide them defensively, so they won't be exposed as much. I think that helps. And like I said, they just have more options. Like Jordan Clarkson, he's a good offensive player. Like just that energy off the bench and the confidence and them be able to play at that faster pace is going to help them. Now the Cavs, they're probably the second best team in the East, I believe. Um, they obviously have Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, and they had DeAndre Hunter, who's probably going to start in that small four spot. I mean, they added Lonzo Ball. I literally like that pickup because he just brings energy and defense, and his passing ability stands out. And then he can shoot as well. So they always need shooting, and they have shooters in Dean Wade, Sam Merrill, Max Struess, all like 40% around that range, 3-point shooters. So that always helps. The key for the Cavs really to me is like Evan Mobley obviously taking like another jump offensively, like you said, like him being more aggressive and just taking advantage of mismatches, and also just calling for the ball, demanding the ball offensively. I'm saying, like, because like Donovan Mitchell, as good as he is, and he's a great player, he tries to do too much to me. And you could tell, like in the series against the Pacers, he was just gassed at the end of those games because he was trying to do too much. Trying to do everything, trying to initiate the offense, trying to score. He also try to play well on defensively. So being able to take that pressure off of Donovan Mitchell, I mean, that helps. I mean, Darius Garland being there, if he's healthy, that helps take the pressure off him. But also Evan Mobley being more involved in the offense, using them more. Um, Also them being more dominant defensively. Like I said, I feel like they kind of underperform. But also, I think the difference is the my bad. The fact that you can pick on like Donovan and Darius Garland defensively, I think that hurts because we have small guards. You can easily pick on them and put them in pick and rolls and hunt mismatches like those, like that way. So that hurts them. But them being able to be as effective as they was in the regular season, like they were one of the best offensive teams in the league, like in NBA history. Really, the way how efficient their offense was last year, and we saw in the first round what they did to Miami, they completely dominated and had like this record-setting, like scoring, offensive efficiency in that series in the first round against the Miami Heat. So we know what they can be at full strength when they're at their best. But what can they? How are they going to react when teams like punch them in the mouth? when they're picking them up full court like and being physical like the Indiana Pacers were. So we had to see what they can do because the Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, people think they're soft because like sometimes when they get physical with them, they kind of shrink. They don't play their best basketball when people are being as physical or stuff with them. So that's something they have to address and conquer and overcome this year. And I mean, and they added Larry Nance too, so that helps. I mean, Larry Nance is going to be good because he can defend, he can shoot, he's a smart player. Um, so that also helps with that. So I think they got some good depth. They got some good players. So to me, it's the Cavs or the Knicks as far as like who will make the finals between them two. Right now, I'm leaning Knicks just because they're more healthy and have less issues or problems. I would say. But a sleeper on team you talked about. So I have two sleepers. I have the Orlando Magic and the Milwaukee Bucks. First, Orlando Magic adding Desmond Bain. That's a huge, huge move for them. Um, they shot 31% from three last year. The Orlando Magic. That's the worst in the league. Matter of fact, they said that's the worst a team has shot 3 point percentage wise like in the last 5 years or something like that. I saw. So that's the type of team they've been. They don't have enough spacing, so Franz and Paolo they haven't enough space so Paolo and Franz can operate, you know, make moves and get to the basket like they want to. And obviously those two got to improve as shooters as well. But I believe they can and they have the ability to. At least Franz. Like Franz has shown more of the ability to shoot, make become more of a reliable 3 point shooter than Paulo. Paulo, they don't necessarily need him to make it. Of course, if he's making open threes, that helps. But he can be someone that's a force inside just because of his size. Play in the mid post area, get to the mid range, get to the basket. He's physical enough where he can pretty much attack anybody and score. Um, but Desmond Bain, he's shooting ability. I mean, he's one of the best 3 point shooters in the league. Shooting over 41%, I believe, for the last few years from three. Um, I mean, and he shoots deep threes too. So he stretches the defense, provides that space that they need, and he's aggressive shooting the threes too, and an aggressive scorer, someone that can create offense for not only himself but others, and he's a good defensive player, so that helps. Also, Jalen Suggs coming back, that helps because he's a great, he was coming along last year as a point guard. Um, his defensive intensity and tenacity. I mean, he's one of those players that gets after it on that end of the floor. He was becoming a better shooter last year and someone that can initiate offense and get to the rim. Wendell Carter, he does all the little things as their starting center. He rebounds, he defends, protects the rim, has the ability to play all different kinds of pick and roll coverage, drop, um, blitzes, whatever it may take. So, and then, being someone that attacks the offensive glass as well. I mean, and be a lob threat. And then they have depth. I mean, they have Tristan Da Silva, who's a young player who can score and defend, shoot the three. They have Goga Mitazi, one of the better backup bigs in the league. Jonathan Isaac, one of the better defenders in the league. Anthony Black, a young player, but can defend his tail off. And a great passer as well. Tyus Jones, just a steady backup point guard, who could shoot and set up offense, initiate offense, organize the offense when need be. And they got some young players. Jace Richardson, also a young player, and Jet Howard, two guys that are young athletes, can score, shoot the three ball well, provide energy off the bench. So they got depth too. So they're a sleeper team. And I have actually later I have a good prediction of them later. But those are the teams that stand out to me as far as who could compete to like win the East. Also my other sleeper, one more sleeper team, Milwaukee Bucks. I know their roster isn't the best, but Giannis, I think he's gonna have a great year. He's gonna be one of his best years. Um, if people want to think about something, think about what LeBron did in 2018. He's gonna have to be on that type of level this year if he wants his team to be good. You know what I'm saying? And they have players that can play those roles like starting their roles. I mean, they know what they are. I mean, you got what? Um, Miles Turner, who's a great role player, can shoot the three, defend, stretch the floor, hit the mid range shot. Um, and also bring energy. You have, I mean, Kevin Porter Jr. You know what he is. He's a reliable 3-point shooter, can score. I mean, he plays the passing lanes. I mean, he's an active defender. He's not like the best on ball defender, but he gets in passing lanes. He's active with his hands. Um, they got AJ Green, who's one of the better 3-point shooters in the league. Also
I
got
forgot.
Cole Anthony,
I,
who's he said what?
I forgot they got Cole Anthony.
Yeah, they got Cole Anthony, someone who can come off the bench and score and provide energy for him. Bobby Porter's one of the better bench players in the league, provide energy, score. Um, Obviously, I mean they got Ryan Rollins, who's a defender and energy guy. So they have like players who bring energy and do the little things. You know what I'm saying? And then Giannis, he's just gonna have to carry the offensive load, obviously, and then you would like them to have more of a consistent second option as far as scoring the ball, but obviously it's gonna have to be by committee. I mean, somebody's gonna have to step every. You're gonna have to have somebody step up every night, a different player step up every night and help out with the scoring load. Um, but Giannis, he's the hub of that offense. I mean, it goes through him. Obviously, one of the better finishers in the league in transition in the half court. He's become a more effective shooter for the mid range. He's become a better screener and roller. Um, but I mean, he's and then being a better passer out to shooters, so that helps with him. Um, but yeah, that's a team. I think that this on Giannis, having a chip on his shoulder because you know everybody's gonna say, man, he doesn't have enough. But Giannis is one of those players. He could take the team on his back and just become that type of player and just lead his team. He's probably going to average over 35 points or 35 points a game, 13 rebounds, probably like 5, 6 assists. So he's gonna be one of those players that want to play like one of the best players in the league and lead his team. And he knows what it takes to win. He's seen everything, so he knows what it takes to win. He's a pretty good leader too. He demands a lot out of his teammates, so and they're gonna follow him because I mean they have to. But I think you also talk about the Detroit Pistons. I like that team. I wouldn't necessarily call them a contender or someone though I think they can win the East, but they're definitely in that next group. I probably put Detroit in there, um, like Miami, Atlanta. Those three teams are probably like in that next bucket as far as just like playoff contenders. Teams that probably make the playoffs. Um, like Detroit, Kate Cunningham, he's one of my favorite players in the league. Obviously, one of the better finishers in the league. A player that can pass and shoot. I, he led the league in turnovers last year, so that's something that he has to cut down on. And then especially that, I mean, it showed in the playoffs. Like they was in that great series with the Knicks, but they were turning the ball too much at the end of games and weren't able to get into the offense quite right yet. So I think for them, it's just K taking that next step as an offensive player, taking care of the ball, and then them being able to have like, can Jaden Ivey coming back from injury? I think that's going to help. But can he become like a true secondary scorer? Second option for the Pistons because they need a consistent second option because K can't do it all on his own. And then a consistent 3-point shooting. I mean, they got the defense. I mean, because they got Asar and Ron Holland and Jalen Duran. There we go. But yeah, the Pistons are definitely a team to be reckoned with Asar and Jalen Duran and they said I think they added what they added Duncan Robinson off the bench. Um, Isaiah Stewart they still got off the bench, so they got some depth pieces. They got some interesting players. But as far as them, is this they're a young team, so they're gonna be taking their lumps, but also a team that if they could trade for like a player that could become like a like a legit score second option. I've heard like people like say like they should trade for Larry Marketing. Like that would be a good pickup for them. Like then they would definitely be in the mix as a contender. Um, but yeah, until then they just gonna have to they need their players to like become more, aggressive offensively as far as Asar and Ron Holland and players like that. Jaden Ivey just becoming more offensively minded players, or Because I mean, Tobias Harris is a good role player, but we know what he is at this point. He's not going to be, scoring like 25, 30 or nothing. Like, he don't have those explosive nights in him like that. But they're a team to be reckoned with. The Atlanta Hawks, I like what they did this offseason, adding Kristaps Porzingis, adding Nikhil Alexander Walker. What do you see from the Atlanta Hawks, Darren? What do you think?
Um, I actually would agree with you as far as like being like that um,
Hmm.
second tier, second tier level as far as contender. Because I do like the pieces, but I just don't know in terms of like. So we both know we all know what Trey can do. Especially when he already made a with Eastern Conference Finals appearance. So I definitely do believe in Trey's ability and what he brings and what he's capable of doing. I just think in terms of like comparison to the Knicks and the Cavs, obviously I think they still need like a piece or two before they can make that next jump into um that level of the Cavs and Knicks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they got some good players, a good combination of players. Like they got a good. I really like their starting lineup: Trey Young, Dyson Daniels, Zachary Ricochet, Jalen Johnson, and Chris Stapps. I really think that's a good starting lineup. Just the versatility of the lineup and what they can do. Chris Porzingis his ability to stretch the floor should help them. His ability to shoot the three, protect the rim, post up smaller players, hit the mid range. Can add like as this adds versatility and scoring versatility to the lineup. Trey Young, obviously, we know he's one of the better passers and scorers in the league. But Ricochet being one of the better cutters and shooters, off ball players in the league. Jalen Johnson, we know what he can do. Um, he's a lob threat. He's a guy that brings energy in transition. He can score in transition, hit the open shot. Um, Someone who's a good pick and roll player. So he's very good at what he does. And then off the bench, they got Okonkwo, who's one of the better backup bigs in the league. A lob threat with protector has actually improved and can hit the open three as well. Nikhil Alexander Walker, we talked about him with the Timberwolves, how big of a loss that was for them. He's a really good defender. Um, can
Mhm.
shoot the ball, create offense, initiate offense for himself and others. Um, Defend 1 to 3. And then they have like Luke Kennard, one of the better shooters in the league. I mean, we know what he can do. I mean, off screens, pin downs. I mean, catch and shoot. He's one of the best shooters in the league. I mean, I think he shot like 45% or something crazy last year from three. The best in the league. So they have like a bench. They have players, but the one thing they don't, I guess they wouldn't have is like a consistent second option. They can like raise their floor. Or you know what I'm saying. So but they're definitely an intriguing team. As someone that's a very fun team. It's gonna be a fun team to watch this year.
Exactly.
Um, I think so. We have like question mark teams. Like we don't know exactly what they're gonna do. Like we have the Miami Heat and the 76ers. Those are two teams I think they're gonna be at the like probably the bottom of like the teams that's gonna be make the playoffs. Like be fight for the play in kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um, 76ers is all about health. They injure all the
Hmm.
time. Um, what do you see from the Sixers this year? Philadelphia this year.
Let's say the question marks. I will say on like the positive side, they definitely got a special player on their hands. With VJ, like this boy right here, he's definitely gonna be making a mark on this team for sure. Um, Joe Embiid coming back, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey. We already know what Tyrese Maxey can do. He's a elite, like really great scorer, serviceable defense, and he adding a good rookie that also can provide the athleticism, pressure to the basket, athleticism. Um, I do think that would add a whole nother dimension to this team. But obviously, with like Joe Embiid, and Paul George being the most like injury prone players in the league, that does leave a little bit of like a question mark too, as where's the ceiling, what the floor is. Um, I was watching Joe Embiid the other night, and he did look like he was a little bit more hesitant as far as like jumping or like even certain movements. So that is something to be concerning about. Um, so they're definitely in like this awkward phase of um what direction they like they're in a weird spot in terms of like where to put them as far as like competing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like you said it, like they got great like two man punch at the guard position with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, um, and then those two just how dynamic scores they've been, and then VJ Edgecombe, he's just a supreme athlete, a freakish athlete who just defends his tail off, just provides energy, plays with a lot of intensity and tenacity on both ends of the floor. He's not afraid of anybody. He's fearless. He's trying to dunk it on you. He go. I mean, he's aggressive with his shot. I mean, if he's open, he's going to shoot it. So that's it's great to see as a rookie. Tyrese Maxey can score at all three different levels of the floor, mid range, 3-point shot, and get to the rim at will. I mean, like I said, like you said, with the injuries, Paul George, Joel Embiid, what we're gonna get from them this year? How many games are they gonna play this year? That's gonna depend on how good the 76ers will be if they can play a lot of games. Joel Embiid, I saw him the other game. He was settling for a lot of jump shots. Like you said, he wasn't moving that well. That's gonna be a problem if he can't get back to full strength. You know what I'm saying? Paul George, we haven't seen him yet, so we don't know what his timeline is or how his body is going to hold up. But they have a lot of players. I mean, they got Quentin Grimes, who became like a really good scorer off the bench last year. Someone that could defend as well. I mean, they got Jared McCain. I don't know when he's coming back, but they got some interesting players in that. And this is Kelly Oubre, who knows how to play his role. I mean, he's an energy guy. He defends. He shoots the ball well. He cuts. Gets out in transition. Fills the lane. All those different type of things. But I mean, if they were to stay healthy, they could be a playoff team. But we just don't know how healthy their guys are going to be. But next, the Miami Heat. They just don't have the Miami Heat. They're an interesting team. But they don't have a superstar player though. I mean, they have Bam, who a star player. I would probably say. I mean, he's an all-star player. And then they have like Tyler Hero, who's like a fringe all-star, who made the all. I don't know if he made the all-star team or not last year. I can't remember. But they have a lot of young players, I think. But what do you see from them, the Miami Heat this year? And do you see them making the playoffs? Obviously, they're not going to be one on a contender or anything. But I guess like that, do they sneak in at the back end? It'll be like a playing team, I guess. Probably they're like.
Ain't gonna lie, like I have no expectations for the Heat this year. Um, just for the simple fact that like I just don't think like Pat Riley or like the organization, it seems like they don't have like a sense of direction of what they're trying to be. It's like, do you want to rebuild? Are y'all trying to compete for a championship? Like
Yeah.
what is this like which direction do y'all want to go? Y'all just traded away one of your star players in Jimmy Butler. I mean, like there could be a debate about whether he was a team, a culture killer, whatever, but it's like, yo, y'all just traded away one of y'all star players. Um, like
Mm-hmm.
what are y'all trying to accomplish here? So I would say they're like in this gray area. I just don't see them as being a team that's um I mean they're gonna compete to try to win games, I would say that. But as far as like anything associated with trying to go far in the playoffs, I just don't see that.
Yeah. The Miami Heat, they're like they're at a
Crossroads.
crossroads. I mean, yeah, they don't know what direction they want to go in. They don't want to tank. They want to stay relevant, but they don't have the players to actually compete for a title or anything like that. Like I said, they got Bam, who is one of the better defensive players in the league, but needs to take that next step offensively. We know how talented he is, but he has to become more aggressive offensively if he wants to take the next step. He honestly should be becoming a 20-point scorer, over 20 points a game, but he just doesn't want to do that. I mean, I don't know why. He's a good passer. He can hit the mid range shot. He can hit the three. He can take you off the dribble, but he just doesn't do it consistently from night to night. Tyler Hero, a good shooter. score, but he doesn't play defense. You know what I'm saying? They got some good role players. Andrew Wiggins, who's a player that a lot of contenders could use. I mean, he plays defense and hits the three ball. I mean, he could take you off the dribble, and then so he in the defense, could be the best defender on a championship team. He has that type of talent. They have some young players, Nikola Jovic, Khalil Ware, both dudes who have so much talent, a lot of tremendous, very skilled. Offensively, they can shoot the three. They can, I mean, I think Nikola Jovic, he's 6'10", can put the ball on the floor, shoot the three, the mid range, get to the basket. Safety with Khalil Ware. I mean, he's a 7-footer, 7'1" guy. I think. I know he's over 7 feet. Let's put it like that. Can shoot the three. Can squat. He can shoot. Squat the dribble. Can mid range, post up, all different types of that, things like that, and he can defend. So he's an intriguing player. They have a lot. They have a good amount of young players. I like though. They just they need to find a lane. Are they going to rebuild or are they going to compete or what are they going to do? You know what I'm saying? They got some players like Davion Mitchell, also a good role player. Can score, defend, plays with a lot of energy. Um, and then Jaime Jaquez, also another good player. I mean, has some potential. Can score, can defend. I mean, they got some young good players. I mean, they just drafted a guy out of Illinois called Kaspers uh, Draconis. I don't know how to say his last name, but he's an intriguing player. Um, so they got a lot of intriguing players, but they don't. They're not. To me, they're not a team that has they're above average on either side of the ball. Like they're not a above average offensive team. They're not an above average defensive team. They're just like average at everything. You know what I'm saying? Um, they just have nothing pops about this team. There's nothing like great about the team. They just average at everything. Just a team full of like decent players with some players who have potential to be good or be great, but there's nothing like set in stone with them when it comes to them right now.
Yeah.
And then we got like these next bucket of teams like the Raptors, the Hornets, the Chicago Bulls. Um, these are teams that I guess will be fighting for the last playing spot. I guess they're more exciting teams to watch more than like teams that are serious about direction and what they're gonna do. Um, like I said, these are teams that I mean we just watching them. Like the Toronto Raptors have a lot of intriguing players that are fun to watch. Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes and um, RJ Barrett. Um, they got a lot of different players, like I said, that are interesting to watch, and they're gonna play hard and play with energy and have highlight real plays every night. Same thing with the Charlotte
So
Hornets, who I think have a good future. You got Brandon Ingram and LaMelo. Do you got anything like this? Anything more in detail to say about them?
now I've been watching. I kept an eye on a couple of their games this year, and they actually are. I like it what I'm seeing from them. But I do think they're actually taking the steps they need to become a um my bold prediction actually is they'll make the play-in this year just for a simple fact that like the whole um LaMelo Brandon Miller connection, that's legit. Like you can kind of see the
Mm-hmm.
synergy they have with each other. Um and then the addition of Josh Green they got last year?
Yeah.
Was
Was
it
he
Josh Green, is
still on
that
the
his name?
team? Yeah,
Or
I
he's
think they
not?
got him. I don't know if he still plays or not, but
Well,
yeah.
no. I think they made some acquisitions. I can't remember top of my head now, but
They added
I like
Colin Sexton. They got Con Knipple and Ryan Kalbrenner from the draft.
yeah.
Um,
Um I like what they got going on. Now, why I say that they're gonna make the playoffs, no, but
no,
would I be surprised if they make the play in? Nah, I don't
nah,
think because I think if they can make a couple, if they can get a vet on their team, or if they can get a wing for like a wing veteran, um, that can what they need. They need some defense. a wing defender that has been in the league that had playoff experience or even championship experience. If they can find a way to somehow get that can complement Lamelo, Brandon, and Miles Bridges, I think they got a shot to make the playoffs this year. Like I really like what they got going on.
Yeah, they're definitely a fun team to watch. They get up and down the floor. They play at a fast pace. Um,
Mhm.
like I said, they have a lot of energy. They have a lot of young players. Um, like I said, Lamelo's fun to watch. Brandon Miller, Conka Nipple. They got like a decent core, I would say. Obviously,
Mhm.
they need to find like the right big man, because we got to see. Ryan Calburn, I think he's a decent player. They drafted him this year. I like what I see from him. He's a 7-footer. I mean, he has interesting skill set. Could block shots, a lob threat, could score around the rim, and different things like that. Rebound, but I think they have a good core. They probably need like a if they can find like a dynamic wing or like someone like in the like 8 to 6'10" range. That's like someone that can really go. Like if they had like a Jalen Johnson type, that would be crazy for them. But they could probably find somebody like that in the draft next couple of years. But they find somebody that's like freakish athletic, and score and defend. That would be great for them. But yeah, they're a team that you can definitely watch from night to night and be excited about them watching them from night to night. Um, then you got the teams that are just tanking: the Washington Wizards, the Brooklyn Nets. Um, we don't know what they're doing, so
They
they're
just
teams
there to
that
get their paychecks. Mhm.
those are like teams that you just say you put dub around them when you play them. You mark in a win unless you're one of the sorry teams. Also Chicago Bulls. We kind of talked about them. They're like I don't know what direction. They don't know what direction they're going in either. So do have some exciting players like Midas Buzelis. I do like Kobe White. Those are two players I really like from their team. Exciting players to watch. Um, young players can score and can get out. Play can hoop. But like I said, the Brooklyn Nets, Washington Wizards don't know what they're doing. Probably two of the worst teams in the league. Probably gonna have two of the worst records in the league. But yeah, and as we move along, what you have any? So as far as playoff teams, can we agree on in the East? Cavs, Knicks, Orlando, Detroit, Milwaukee, um, Miami and Philadelphia, or would you say Indiana and Boston probably should be there instead of Miami and Philadelphia?
Indiana and Boston.
Okay, got you. So those are the East teams. Um, do you have any bold predictions for this season?
Hmm.
Oh, what I do today? While you think
Um.
about it, I'll say
What's you?
mine if
What's
you
yours?
still
I'll
want to think
come.
about it.
What's
Um,
yours? I'll think.
right right now I got like I think Giannis is gonna lead the league in scoring. Um, Giannis he doesn't have many great offensive players around him. He's gonna be the vocal point every night. He's gonna have to score a lot of points for his team to win. I think he's gonna lead the league in scoring, man. What probably 35, 36 points a game just because he has to for his team to be able to compete and be in the playoff hunt and have a good seed without having to be in the play-in. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's gonna have that type of year. So that's one of my bold predictions. You got one yet, or you want me to go ahead and
Can
give
it
it the?
be? Can it be? Can it be like? What we're talking about? Just like I mean, I got one that's kind of like it's Super Bowl. I'll just say it. I'm gonna say from a storyline perspective, I'm gonna be bold and say this will be LeBron's last year with the Lakers.
I like that. I like that. Why? What?
So,
Why you think that? Why do you think that?
um, one because we know like the type of character LeBron is, and we both know we know that he's the type that he doesn't want to he cares about his legacy, so he doesn't want to go out like losing, obviously. Um, and I still think he's trying to get that last chip before he retires. And I don't know. I think it'd be different if like he was on a team that he knows he can at least compete. But if he falls short for like different variables, like if he got hurt or whatever, then he'll be at peace with it. But I think just seeing him and watching how the Lakers have dealt with the navigating the whole like situation, even with like the getting traded and he didn't even know about it. I think that kind of low key break the bridge with him per se. So, and then again, I could be wrong. Like maybe that might be under the table deal the Lakers had with LeBron. They might have talked about the trade going down before it happened, but I don't know. Outside looking in, I think LeBron's at that stage of his career. He don't care about the stats no more. He obviously wants to win that chip, and I just don't think the Lakers. They don't, Rob. They don't have the personnel to build a team, the right team for him and LeBron to win in their championship. Because I think LeBron still wants to win one, but I just don't think the Lakers are no longer that team that they're trying to do both to win now and win in the future. And as far as like what LeBron trying to do, he needs a team that like he can't carry, like he's at the age where he cannot carry. He needs someone that can help him like ease take the workload off of him, right? And Luke can do that obviously, but Rob does not know how to build a supporting cast at all. Good role players. He sucks at that. And I think seeing that and seeing how they move the same thing year after year, I think LeBron's gonna be at that breaking point where he plays his season with Luca and he's gonna dip. And I'm gonna say this might be part two of the boat. I'll say he goes back to the Cavs.
Okay, I like that. I definitely think that LeBron he has a decision to make. Um, the team isn't necessary. I mean, they're a contender, but they aren't. Do they have enough to beat OKC or Denver? I don't know. Just because they haven't put the team together exactly where I know for sure. I just know. I mean, Luca and LeBron, they can do things, special things. They have the right teams around, right players around them. But per se, I think personally he should leave just because the way the Lakers have treated him over the last few years. I mean, they haven't built rosters that make sense with him and AD. They didn't get bigs. They didn't have enough shooters around. They filled teams with a bunch of old guys or guys past their prime. I mean, lack of defense, lack of wing defenders, lack of shooters, athletes. I mean, they built weird teams. I mean, they deviated from the formula that worked when AD and LeBron first came together. Like they were full, like they had a team full of defenders. They had some young players. They had some athletes. They had smart players. They had shooting. All of that mixed in together with AD and LeBron as the focal point, as the centerpieces of the team, and they went away from it.
Mm.
Like they went into like I don't know what it was. It was all old guys one year, and then Russell Westbrook being added to the team, which was ridiculous. And then they went to a team where it kind of like they traded for pieces, but then they didn't like bring them like all the way back. They didn't like they could have brought the same team back. The team that went to the Western Conference Finals, like they didn't like they brought the same team back and thought they was just gonna win the championship the next year, like because they were in the Western Conference Finals itself, like saying nah, like we need like a bench, like nah, we need a couple more shooters or another wing defender, to shore up the weaknesses that the team had. That's why they lost in the Western Conference Finals. So it seems like to me they either go backwards or they get worse. I mean, they get worse or they stay the same every single year. With teams are just getting better around them, or teams are adding dudes or adding teams are getting better around the league, and they're just sitting there like living in the past. You know what I'm saying? So LeBron has a decision to make. I think he has a good shot to be his last year in LA. I think that'd be better for everybody. I mean, to see LeBron go somewhere else and have a chance to compete because that's what Bron is in the league for to still do. I mean, he's still, like I said, playing at one as a top 10, 15 player in his league and playing at a high level still at 40 years old, which we've never seen before. The best career in the NBA history, no matter what anybody say. We're not saying GOAT. We're saying best career. Who has the best career? Nobody's been this good for this long. 20, 22 years of this a top five or top 10 player in the league. Nobody, we've never seen it before. Um, so it's ridiculous. It's something we never seen before, and we just gotta enjoy this time while we have it. But yeah, I have one question though.
Mm.
My next question is, the Cavs started 15-0 last year. Do you think who's going to be the team that has like who stays undefeated the longest? Which team you think? And right now it's only like a handful of teams that are still undefeated. It's
I
like the
think
Knicks,
I
OKC. Um,
honestly
let me
think
see
it's
who
gonna
else
be.
is undefeated.
I honestly think if it's done, it's gonna be a team in the East just for the simple fact that like with the West it is going to be a bloodbath. You know, it's gonna be competitive
Yeah.
night in, night out, week after week.
Oh yeah.
Um,
So Milwaukee's still undefeated. Um, OKC, the Knicks, Chicago, Philadelphia, but they're probably gonna lose in the next couple games.
mhm.
And then San Antonio. So yeah,
Yeah, I think just for strength of schedule purposes, I'll say someone in the East is probably gonna have the longest win streak or start to the season. With the West, it's just so many teams that's going to be competing for a playoff spot, and it's just, especially with these young teams that's coming up too. It's just kind of like
yeah,
I just don't see it. Like West to West matchups. I don't see any team that's going to be going on. Like they'll probably go on a little win streak of like 3 or 4 games, but I don't think there's going to be one that's super long. And any team in the West is going to have a super long one. OKC maybe. I'll say maybe the
hmm
closest.
yeah. OKC or Knicks, I probably would say probably will be undefeated the longest, just because those teams are probably on like the biggest mission to like be good and like send a
Mhm.
message. Like OKC, and they know they're gonna be the hunt and they're gonna get everybody's best shot, but they still gonna be like, man, we're so deep, we're so talented, I mean, we got the best team in the league, and we're gonna prove it out here. The Knicks, they gotta show like, hey man, we the big dogs in the East now that Boston's not a bit around. So they got a
Right.
chip on their shoulder to show, you know, because some people think they ain't gonna win, and Cat, they talk about Cat up in a certain way, and so they got a new team, so they want to do some things. They want to do some things. Um, Couple more questions. Which player outside the top 10 has a chance to jump into the top 10? We'll just do one
Mm.
player for time's sakes. Um, which player you think? Well, first I'll say probably the top 10. You could probably argue. We'll probably say like 11, 12 players. But I mean, I'll probably say,
Mm.
so we can agree on like Jokic,
Mhm.
SGA, um, Giannis,
Mhm.
Luca,
Mhm.
Wimby,
Mhm.
Anthony Edwards, Steph,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, who else? LeBron, KD, Donovan
Mhm.
Mitchell,
Mhm.
Jalen Brunson. So that's probably like what 10, 11 right there.
Yeah, that's 11.
So those are probably you can argue any of those guys to be top 10 right now. Um, yeah.
Outside of
So
them, who has a
who would
chance
you
to knock
say?
out?
Yeah, knock out one of those players. While you thinking
I'm going.
about it, I could probably say I'll probably go and say Paulo Banquero has a chance to jump in there.
Mm.
Um, Paulo, his team is becoming better around him. I think he will average 24 points last year. But he has a chance to take the next step. I mean, he has everything you need to become a top 10 player. I mean, he has the skill set. Like I said, he can become an unstoppable force just because his size, his strength, be able to get to the basket at will against anybody. He's 6, what, 9, 10, 250, 260, you know. He can power through anybody. And then he has the ability to finish over anybody. He has the, the hops, the athleticism, and the moves. I mean, so he's becoming more effective in the mid range and get to his spots. And then we saw in the playoffs how he played. So against the Celtics, he's becoming more of like a more effective 3 point shooter. Not a volume 3 point shooter, but more effective where he's hitting like he's only taking 2 or 3, but he's hitting, a good percentage of those. So that would be my player. And then defensively, I mean, he's becoming better there over there too. So I think he has the ability to take that next step.
Hmm. I don't know why he's coming to my mind, but I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna say Zion.
That's a good one.
Just for the simple fact that all the negativity has been around him. I feel like he took it seriously. He actually shed some good amount of weight off. So he definitely heard all the buzz and he heard all the noise and all the negativity. So I feel like he took the off season real seriously. And it's paying off now because I think the last couple of games he's been averaging like what 27 points
Mm-hmm.
a game. Lately like 27 and 10. So I think so far as of right now, I think he has the potential to kind of crack into that top 10. That's if he stays consistent, stays healthy. Um, I think if he can improve a little bit more defensively, but other than that's the only player that I can think of right now that has that potential.
Nice, nice. I like those picks, man. Zion's a good one just because he has a chip on his shoulder. Everyone, all the
Hmm.
doubters are against him. He has, like I said, he has a lot of doubters. He has people talking down on his name, but he has the ability, he has the skill set, to be in that conversation for sure.
Hmm.
Um, let's see, we can go to outside of like the contenders. Who's gonna be your favorite team to watch?
Houston for sure.
Houston.
Hmm. I
You
think it's
want
gonna be
to
between.
say
I
why?
think it's gonna. I'm gonna say. Can I do two?
Yeah, you get the two.
Okay, I'm gonna say Houston and Denver because like we talk a lot of crap about like KD and like what he has like the whole Golden moving to Golden State and everything, but I'm actually looking forward to him to the challenge. 'Cause I actually think Houston is a good fit for him as far as it's a good team for him because it's not like super stacked to the point where like if he wins then it's not gonna count. But it's also a good team with enough where like he has a good supporting cast. Um, just need that point guard option. Um, and really can show like his true um he basically can have his like I'm him, like I'm KD, because even when you look at Steph and LeBron, like because honestly, like even with KD, I feel like he's been the type that's kind of been like in that weird spot as far as like being in that big three, even though he's considered the big three as far as in our era.
Hmm.
So I do think like this team is the best opportunity for him to become that guy to be like, yeah, I'm him. Like I deserve to be in that air. And I believe with Coach M, how you say Edoko, great coach.
Dope. Yep.
Emphasizes defense, hard work, like that aggressive mentality. Not backing down from anybody. The athleticism. Um, with Amin and even the that Seguin. Seagoing taking that next step,
Single,
learning how to
single.
yeah, being able to shoot from the perimeter. Um, I think KD is in a good situation to where if he wins, you can't discredit it, you know. Now Denver, as much as like it sucked that they knocked the Lakers out from 2023 playoffs, which we could have had a fifth. LeBron could have had his fifth ring by now and could have freaking retired. As much as that sucked, I just like their style of play and just the whole system as a whole. Jamal Murray and Jokic, one of the greatest duels right now in the league right now. Their style of play, ball movement, off ball movement, cutting to the paint, not really ISO heavy. Um, Rosters well balanced. Players not doing too much outside of their role. The small things like that. That's why I like Denver so much. They one of those teams like they're kind of hard to hate because they play basketball the right way, like high IQ, communicative style basketball, and they don't try to derive away from their identity, their basketball identity, because a lot of teams try to do that. Try to change it up too much rather than sticking to who they are originally, and just kind of make tweaks around it, but stay true to who they are as a team. And I think Denver has been a good job of. They had off years, but you've seen how like they only had like what two bad. Oh, then that's the crazy part. They only had like what one or two bad years, but they still was competing. And now a lot of the media and a lot of us got them back into that um conversations for contending for a championship. And that's one of the things I respect about them is they are actually intentional about um regrouping. Okay, they're gonna sit down and think, what do we need to do to get back to where we need to be? And they didn't waste no time. They got their key pieces back, got Cam Johnson back, got Bruce Brown, Tim Harder, like we was talking about earlier, and
Yep.
now they're on top of their rookies and on top of Christian Braun taking that next step, doing things organically, and it's paying off dividends because now they're back into that picture, and it didn't even take them that long.
For sure, for sure. I think two teams that I think you did the contenders, so I'm gonna do teams that aren't necessarily contenders, but I'm gonna say the San Antonio Spurs and the Charlotte Hornets as far as like some of my favorite teams to watch this year. Charlotte Hornets, hometown team, obviously, but dude, they get up and down the floor when they run, when they get on a fast break. It's exciting because I mean you never know what kind of pass LaMelo's gonna make. You never know what type of shot he's gonna take. Brandon Miller, he's gonna throw an alley to Brandon Miller. He's gonna throw an alley to Miles Bridges. I mean, those dudes are just so exciting to watch. And then the ball handling between the two, between LaMelo and Brandon Miller, the ball movement has been better too. This like looking at them like in the preseason, like the early games, like the ball movement been so much better with Con Knipple, Colin Sexton, all them dudes passing the ball, and then you know they just get on that fast break. I just love watching them play that type of basketball. It just feels like it's contagious because they move the ball around, and it's just nobody's being selfish. It's just like the ball is moving with energy and different things like that. And then the San Antonio Spurs, Wemby, man, watching him from night to night, you never know what he's gonna do. He might do something you never seen before. I mean, this someone that tall, being that good at basketball, being able to handle the ball the way he does, being able to shoot the way he does, being able to make defensive plays the way he does, dunk on people. I mean, whatever type of highlight play you want to see, you're gonna see it in a given game with Wemby out there. I mean, then the players he have is beside him. I mean, Stephon Castle is a fun player to watch. Dylan Harper's a fun player to watch. You got Julian Champagny splashing threes. You got Jeremy Sohan, and they're making crazy plays, and um Harrison Barnes, and Luke Cornett, all them making passes and make contributing. So it's just a fun team to watch, man. I mean, and they're playing so well, and they're playing well and connected right now. So, but that's some of the teams that I like that I think gonna be fun to watch this year. My next question is, who's your favorite rookie from this 2024 class, 2025 class?
PJ easily.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just like his story is just so like it's just like kind of it's sad, but it's also kind of like just seeing him use that. It just gives him that edge, like every time he steps on the court. The way he attacks the rim, applying pressure to the rim, like he has this whole mindset of like I'm gonna work hard, and I'm gonna go at it like 100% approach to the game.
hmm,
With efficiency too, which is crazy. Like as
yeah,
a rookie, that's kind of impressive that he has that mentality to he has that aggressive mentality with efficiency in year one already coming into the league. So he's definitely one of my favorites for me. Cooper, I mean, this might be UNC bias, but I like Cooper's attitude, like how he approaches the game and everything, and not to knock him away, but there's something about just VJ. It's just like he's personally just more polarizing to me, and just like how his attitude towards the approach to the game. It's just so fun watching him.
yeah. For me, it's definitely VJ as well. I think just because, like, just the way he plays, man, he jumps off the
Hmm.
screen, like his energy, his intensity, like I said, like he has that dog mentality. Like he's going after it every play, both ends of the floor, giving it his all. Even out there on the floor defensively, um, offensively, he's attacking, he's playing aggressive. I mean, and then he's just someone from day one that believes in himself and who he is and what he can do on the court. So that's someone I love to watch. Um, I think someone like Ace Bailey's gonna be exciting to watch at some point, like when he starts to click and like get like I think he's dealing with some type of illness right now. But when he starts to like really tap into like his skill set, because he has the ability to score at all three levels and defend at a high level as well. He just has a tremendous skill set. His ball handling is great. I mean, he could get to his spots at any time and create his own shot and create for others. So when he's like he uses that, has the ability to use his mind as well as his skill set, just take better shots and have better decision making. What he can do, he's gonna be a good player. But yeah, those are the two I would say. Um, let's just let's just go to some our MVP predictions. Who do you think will win MVP this year?
To be honest,
Giannis. Nice. Why you think Giannis is gonna win?
um, I don't know, like kind of like what you're saying. I think since he's gonna be like the main guy on the offensive board, and we both know he doesn't like to lose. I think he's gonna approach this season like aggressive, like super aggressive. Um, this just that determination and that dominance um that he usually does. I think he's really still has that hunger to try to get another ring, and he wants to make sure that he holds his team accountable. So I do think he's gonna come this season with a little bit more of an edge. So I think he's gonna, especially with the scoring, I think he's gonna have a great year with scoring too. So I think that's gonna be my prediction. I'm gonna say follow up would be Luca.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, this MVP race this year has the potential to be one of the best we've seen in a while. I mean, we
Hmm.
got SGA, who's the reigning MVP. We got Jokic. We know who's gonna have a great season. He's gonna have a triple double season. Um, and he has a great team around him. He know he's going to put up those type of numbers, crazy eye popping numbers. Going to be best player night in and night out most nights. But also we got, like you said, Giannis, and we got Luca, who's going to be great. Wemby's going to be in that conversation, and Anthony Edwards is going to be in that conversation because he has a chip on his shoulder. He wants to show that he's in the conversation for the best player in the league. So this is going to be great. Shoot, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, they got something to prove. Shoot, it's going to be great, I think. But my pick, I would say, I'm gonna say is Luca. Luca, he has a chip on his shoulder. He was traded last year from Dallas Mavericks, who, in the craziest trade, most shocking trade we've ever seen. Nobody's ever expected that. Nobody expected that. Nobody's seen it. We were shocked. We couldn't believe it. We thought it was fake when it happened. I mean, but Luca, last year all the talk about him being overweight and out of shape. I think that was just ingrained in his mind the entire summer. And he worked really hard to drop weight and be in the best condition he can be in coming into this season, and it's shown already. He's had 40 at least 40 points in each game so far this year. So I mean, they played only 2 games so far, but you've seen just how good he's become. How he's back to old Luca. Like I said, he's getting whatever shot he wants, he's taking it. He's getting to his spots. No one could stop him. At the basket, let's say at getting to the rim, getting to the mid range, making people look silly like he always does. He just looks smarter than everybody else on the floor. His step back 3-point shot, unstoppable. Nobody can guard it. He just looks unguardable out there on the court. He looks like he has the ball on a string. Like he's the best player on the floor every time he steps on it. The passes he makes incredible, something you've never seen before. So, and I think he's going to continue that throughout the season, and the Lakers are going to need it, because we don't know how healthy Bron's going to be this year. So he's going to have to play at that level for them to be able to lock in a top 6 seed in the playoffs, going into the playoffs. So I'd expect that from him. Yeah. And last week, I guess we can go ahead and make our NBA titles predictions. I think you already said you predicted the OKC Thunder to win, but who do you have them facing in the finals?
Knicks.
You said the Knicks. Yeah. And why do you think the Knicks are gonna be there?
Um, well, like you said, with the new coach, I think once the fact that I think they're gonna be a little bit healthier now since they ain't gonna have a coach that's gonna run their starting lineup to the ground every night. So that's gonna play a huge factor going into a long season. So they're gonna be fresher when the playoffs start. Two, since they got a taste of the conference finals already, they were so close to making it. So now, like once they get back, then I think they'll have enough experience to know what it takes to get to that next level, which is the finals. Um, um, I got one bold move too. I got one bold take too. I'm waiting until you finish.
Okay. Um, right now I think it's gonna be OKC over the Knicks as well. Um, OKC, they just have a chip on it. Well, I'm not gonna say they have a chip on their shoulder, but they're out here to prove that their last year was not a fluke. They're a young team, but they're up and coming. They got new players who's going to step up. RJ Mitchell, Nikola Topic, he's going to play well. SGA says he's going to keep go to another level this year. They got Jalen Williams. They got Alex Caruso. They got Casey Wallace, who's going to become even better. Chet, who's going to become even better. Isaiah Hartenstein. The list goes on. And if they need to make a trade, they can make a trade because they got assets. But like I said, I just don't. Right now, they have the best formula. They got everything you need, all the championship ingredients. to win the title and repeat again. Um, like I said, lineup versatility, scoring versatility, um, defensive versatility, 3-point shooters. I mean, two guys that can score anytime against any defense. They can play any defense. They can, like I said, play small, play big. They have answers to every problem that's out there. So they're just a team. I think that's going to win the championship this year. And then the Knicks in the East, um, Jalen Brunson, one of the most clutch player in the league last year. I think he's going to continue some of that this year. Like I said, Cat, we know he's going to have a chip on his shoulder because people are always talking sideways about Carlton Towns. So he's going to be playing well. Then they got two elite wing defenders and players that can do all different. They can score, defend. Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. They can do it all. Shoot the three, create their own shots. They can score any given night. They can score 25. So you got that type of option. You got Mitchell Robinson who can rebound, defend, protect the rim, does the dirty work. Josh Hart rebounds, defends, does the dirty work. Guards the best perimeter player. Smart, intelligent player, high IQ player. But I mean, they got a bitch now. Jordan Clarkson, Yabusele, Miles McBride, News McBride, whatever they calling him nowadays. Tyler Kolek, a rookie who's a backup point guard who can do some things, shoot the ball, initiate offense, create for himself and create for others. But they got they got options this year. So no, that's my finals pick. OKC over the Knicks. And you had OKC winning as well, or you?
Well, it's gonna depend. So I'm gonna be super bold on this one.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
So this is gonna depend on how the season goes. Well, this is kind of relate to my old bold pick about Bron too. Here's my super bold. I think this is like super bold hot take. I'm gonna say, depending on how the Lakers go these next few stretches, I'm gonna say if things get super sour, LeBron will request a trade. LeBron gets traded to the Knicks. LeBron goes to the Knicks. Knicks makes it to the finals. Knicks beat OKC in 7.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it. I like it.
And
LeBron get that fifth ring, huh?
yeah, because here's the reason why I think it's more likely that he'll do it with the Knicks versus the Cavs. Because one, we so big about him like legacy, right? So if he wins just one, even if it's his last ring ever, right? Doing it at the mecca of basketball, right? That would be
Mm-hmm.
legendary. So him going there, and he's bringing that veteran presence, and I'm pretty sure the Knicks won't even have to trade a lot to make room to get him either. So it won't even mess with the core like that either. So hey, and the strangest things happened in NBA. We didn't think Luka was gonna get traded. Look what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I like that.
But
I like the bold prediction. I like the change. I mean, LeBron going to Knicks, that would be a box office. That would be incredible to watch. I mean, that would be in the Mecca. Yeah, that'd be one of the biggest moves we've seen, and that would be great. I mean, I love it for the NBA. That would be entertaining. So,
mhm.
but yeah, I mean, we can expect some good things from the league this year. It's going to be an incredible year, incredible teams, incredible players. I mean, have so many good players, so many young up and coming players. I mean, the NBA is in good hands. I know we talked about the big three all the time, LeBron, KD, and Steph, but there's a new era of players
Era.
coming in who's coming in and playing well and putting the league on notice. So we're excited. We're ready to see what they got in store for us, and we're looking forward to some great basketball this year. Darren,
So
any last words?
nah, man, this was fun. Like this been fun conversations. Definitely had a great time.
Yes, sir. All right. Everybody have a good week, and we'll see you next time on the next NBA edition of Sportscape.
Sure.